Each year, on September 25th, the National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims provides an opportunity to reflect on the devastating impact of homicide.
It's sad, but we are here. We are here to support each other.
The day was designated by Congress in 2007 after Robert and Charlotte Hollinger of Cincinnati formed Parents of Murdered Children following the 1978 murder of their 19-year-old daughter.
There's times when I go into schools and I would ask, if you know somebody who have died, raise your hand. And before, 20 years ago, nobody, no children, nobody would raise their hand. Now, they're raising two hands. My auntie, my uncle.
The day encourages families and loved ones of victims to remember, share stories, and keep the legacies of their loved ones alive.
My son, Barricky James George, was murdered at the age of 23, 6 days before his 23rd birthday. And then he was murdered in 2019, March 6, 2019.
A rose-laying ceremony and moment of silence were held at the waterfront before the remembrance ceremony.
The red rose is for the victims that were murdered, and the white is for hope, it's purity.
The Virgin Islands Department of Justice partnered with the Family Resource Center and the Virgin Islands Police Department to recognize the day, remember the victims, and honor the family and friends they have left behind.
I say to the families who have suffered such tremendous loss, know that you are not alone. We stand with you in your grief, in your anger, and in your hope for a future where such violence is no more. Today, we remember, we honor, and we renew our promise to seek justice and to strive for a world where every life is valued and protected.
This solemn day also aims to raise awareness about the resources and support services available for those coping with the aftermath of such tragedies.
The Virgin Islands Police Department and everyone we have partnered with, we partnered with everyone in order to comfort and guide you through the process.
From grief counseling to victim advocacy groups, these resources offer comfort and help families navigate through their difficult journeys.
For all the loved ones, I know you are mourning. It doesn't matter how far back your loved one was murdered, it will always be fresh in your mind because that's somebody you loved and you care for. Like I said before, we can't bring your family back, but we, as a community, we are here to support each other.
Andrea Hamilton remembers the pain of losing her son, 14-year-old Aaron Ashby, in 2020 to gun violence. She shared that knowing she's not alone and that he is remembered gives her strength.
My justice for Aaron is in helping any child in any way that I can. I have started his foundation, and in his foundation, we are working on building an all-male mentor program for young men in our community.
Surviving family members and friends were asked to come forward to say the name of their loved one.
Kadeem Omari John Sr., December 10th, 2015, at age 23.
My son Shaquille Roberts was murdered on April 16, 2020. My grandson Janai Thompson was murdered right over there on January 21st, 2024.
Dwayne Lynch, July 16, 2008, was my nephew. And Michael McKee, April 16, 2020. He was also my nephew.
Jakeda Azanik Isaac, age 9.
If I can say anything to a young man that's considering taking someone's life, I would like to tell you, stop
because it's not just their life you're taking. You're taking everyone, a piece of everyone that's attached to that person.
And every day that I live, I reflect on what he might have been, because he loved life and he loved the people around him. So his name is Dorian Algavis Blake.
Support one another in this painful time, because in a small community, we are not separated. When I heard the young child who was lost earlier this year, that her grandmother came up and spoke of, I had no idea that I knew all of the members of her family, going back to her great-grandparents, because we are connected to one another and we share in that grief and in that loss.
My father's name was Hugo D. Jackson. Many of you would remember Mr. Jackson that had the gas station right below Polyberg. My dad was murdered. We still don't know who the person that killed him. It has impacted our family and our community.
I will not stop speaking of my son until I draw my last breath.